Okay, we're all set.
All right, thank you, Mr. Timonier. We are going to call our pre-council meeting for Monday, May 17th, 2021 to order. Ms. Sensky, would you like to call the roll?
Sure. Mr. Roskovich.
Here.
Mr. Spielman.
Here.
Mrs. Foglio.
Here.
Calvin Crawford. Ladine Young.
Here.
Octavia Harris. Ms. Haynes.
Here.
Mr. Timonier.
Here.
Mr. Franklin.
Here.
Ms. Welch.
Here.
All right, so we will have our meeting. We do have a couple members absent tonight, and we will excuse them when we get to our regular council meeting. And also, if we could, Ms. Sensky, if you could remind me, we will have an executive session. We will make a request for an executive session. We'll do that at the start of the meeting. And I believe that will be to the sale of property.
The sale and purchase of property, yes.
Sale and purchase of property. Okay? So
Okay.
we'll do that at the beginning of the meeting. We'll need a motion and all that, but I tell you now because otherwise I will forget.
Okay.
So, all right.
I was warned.
I'll request that in my report, Mr. Roskovich.
Pardon? Oh,
I'll
okay.
request that in my report. Yep.
All right, good. Okay. So we have a short agenda. As if you've reviewed the agenda, you see we only have a few items to deal with tonight. So we have a light agenda. We'll have a committee report, and then just a few things from the manager, and not much else. So we should have a quick evening. And so we'll have time if anybody would like to discuss something extra. Mr. Manager, would you like to begin for us then?
Thanks, Mr. Roskovich. Yeah, the only thing I have tonight is an ordinance to enter into an agreement with Bricker and Eckler for legal services in connection with the formation of a energy special improvement district, better known as an ESID. So this is just another tool that we would have for economic development here in the city. What we would like to do is designate the entire city as the special improvement district. And this is to establish the PACE program. PACE stands for Property Assessed Clean Energy Program. So what this basically is if a company is going to retrofit the electric, roof, heating and ventilating systems, anything that has to do with energy savings, there's programs out there where they can apply for funds through a loan program. And then essentially that portion of what they're doing is put on their taxes as an assessment and then paid over the years. So that's what the PACE program was actually, there are two of them currently in the county. There's one in Harpersfield and there's one in Conneaut. We intend on possibly joining the Conneaut one rather than starting our own. We hope that the county as a whole eventually has a ESID and a PACE program throughout the entire county without the need to set up different boards, different bank accounts, different organizations for everyone that's out there. So we do feel it best to join in an existing one. Bricker and Eckler has pretty much wrote the language of Ohio Revised Code on this. They're experts in the field. They helped Conneaut and and Harpersfield both establish theirs. So we reached out to them for some guidance. They've been wonderful to work with so far. I want to say it's $3,500 to get this started. I think it's well worth it to have another economic tool in our belt to help with both residents and businesses alike.
Would that could that apply to projects already in the work? Like, would the Carlisle people be able to take advantage of something like that?
Yeah, so actually it was the Castle Block and the Carlisle project this is where it was brought to our attention about the program. We started doing the research on it. So both of them do want to use it. And we can even extend it to Petman. We can extend it to some of the things that are happening on Lake Avenue with Lake City Plating. It's just another, basically what it does is instead of taking that chunk of the project out of a loan, traditional loan from a bank, it helps with what they call the capital stack. So you still have more, abilities to borrow from traditional banks, while this is just an assessment on the property.
Okay.
Mr. Manager, so this isn't a loan per se?
Yeah, technically it is. For instance, in the one project that we're working on, they've reached out to NOPEC. NOPEC provides the funds, and then NOPEC is the one that gets paid back from the proceeds. So it kind of travels through the county and then to the project. And then when the project pays the taxes, it's collected by the county and goes back to NOPEC. So it is a loan that energy conscious organization would loan the money for the project.
Okay, so from what I've read, it gets assessed to the property. So actually what they borrow, but they're not borrowing because it's not a loan, gets assessed to the property.
That's
and
correct.
Stays with the property.
That's correct.
So, how many years do they have to pay it back? Is there a set amount of years that they have to pay it back, or?
That's all in the agreement that they do in the beginning. I think you can go up to 20 years.
Okay.
Yes.
Up to 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And if per se they default in 10 years and they don't pay it back, then that, say they borrow, I'm just saying $1 million, and they pay back maybe 200,000 and they still owe 800,000 and they go defunct in 10 years, then that 800,000 that they haven't paid back stays with the property.
That's correct.
So the next person who would buy that property has to pay back that 800,000.
That's correct. Yes. Yep.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's what I thought.
So Jim, you're just asking to enter into an agreement with these lawyers, right? And then
Correct. Right. Yeah. Right now it's to get it established and get it started. And then any person that would come along that would want to take advantage of this program, those documents would come through council also for authorization.
Okay. And then is the lawyers the one that's actually administer the program, or what?
No, so there's a board that's established through the PACE program. So Conneaut has it, and we would work out the details of whether or not we get a seat on that, going forward. But yeah, it's almost like, what can we relate it to? I guess like if it was our port authority doing a loan, that's kind of, it's like a quasi branch of government, but they are their own established organization. They have bylaws, they have everything. And it's a board that meets to discuss the terms of this.
Okay. So basically we just have to hire the lawyers to establish it, and then it's like a one-time thing with them, and then it's ours. Okay. Gotcha.
Yep.
Thank you.
And actually even this cost may be recoverable going forward. And then each application that comes through, there are different fees to administer this that the ESID then collects so that they can do the administration of it. Mm-hmm.
And one more question, Mr. Manager, small businesses can also take advantage of this, any type of business,
and even residents, from what I understand. So that'll be all the stuff that we establish and figure out. So, if somebody needs, their furnace dies, they want to upgrade to a high efficiency thing, this may be a way to, rather than, getting the 0 interest for 12 months and then 24 interest after that, this may be a way for them to help finance it as well.
Be great for small businesses.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you.
Good. So that's really all I have as far as my report. I'm not sure whether or not we're doing a public works meeting, but we did have a pre-con meeting for the initial paving project. And it looks like they're going to start in about 2 weeks. So they're going to get rolling quick here with those streets we've identified, and Lake Avenue will be out to bid very shortly. Remember, we can't start that project A, till after July, and B, until after Aqua gets done doing their portion of Lake Avenue. So we're anticipating mid to late August, possibly the beginning of September, when we'll come through and start rolling. They're making pretty good progress out there. So it may be earlier than that, but we're going to get everything bid and ready to roll so that when that time comes, we can start the Lake Avenue project by the end of during the construction season here.
Yeah, they're busy down there, that's for sure.
Yes. And the Lake Road culvert is also out to bid right now, the storm drain on Lake Road. So that is out to bid. We're waiting for those to come in. And if anybody's out there trying to buy cars, man, it's extremely difficult. We had a bid for a truck down at Water Pollution. We received one bid, and the earliest that we could get the truck would be 24 weeks from order.
Wow.
So I don't know if we're going to go that route, but we might look at another option. But we've seen pictures of actually there's a raceway in Detroit, I think it is, that Ford just has a massive amount of trucks waiting for these chips to come in and be installed. So they have all these trucks produced that they can't move because there's no chips in them. So we're dealing with that right now.
Yeah, this is a lot of crazy stuff like that going on.
Yep.
Oh, anybody else have any questions for the manager? No. The only thing I don't know if you don't even want to talk about it, Jim, but I was putting my garbage. You mentioned Petman, and I was putting my garbage out, and somebody mentioned that to me about they heard a big decision's coming June 1st or something like this or that, and I said, I don't, because it's pre 7 o'clock, so I said I have I have no idea. I haven't No,
I've been in contact with them. They've not led me to believe there's any big decision coming or anything like that. I know that we're over $60 million that they've already spent down on that property. So I really don't see them going anywhere. Again, we've had very, very difficult times getting key people from their countries into the United States due to COVID, some of which were restrictions from the United States, a lot of which were restrictions from the other countries about them traveling. So that's been one of the big obstacles getting people here. And then remember, a lot of this plant is being manufactured all over the world, some of which is in Italy. There have been, obviously, we all know that there's been tons of slowdowns in Italy due to COVID. And I'm not sure if they're even traveling yet there as well. So there's been a lot of hurdles with this project, and nobody anticipated the COVID one, but we will continue we have conversations with them at least once a week. We'll continue those discussions, and hopefully if there is this magical June 1st date, we'll know about it, but we don't, nothing's been said to us yet.
Well, I shared like you that they've already spent a lot of money down there, as I said, but who knows? Crazy times. Okay, does anybody else have any questions or comments for the manager? All right, Mr. Franklin, do you have anything for us this evening?
No, Mr. President, I don't. Excuse me, no, I don't.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Franklin. Ms. Welch?
The only thing I have is the ordinance to create the local fiscal recovery fund for the new grant money.
For
We should be getting the end of May, beginning of June, maybe.
You mean from the CARES Act or whatever it's called, the American Recovery Act or whatever?
Correct, yes.
Okay. So you guys did go to that presentation?
We've had a couple of them, yes.
At the end of April or something?
Yes.
Yeah. Tracy and I did attend two virtual meetings on that. The first one was, thanks for coming. We know there's money coming. We don't know anything about it. So Tracy and I jumped off. On the second one was a little bit more detailed, a little bit better. And I actually think there's one tomorrow maybe that we're signed up for. We did hear Treasury has released some guidance. Basically, they released their huge, nobody can read document that comes from the Treasury. So tomorrow's will be the deciphering of that document. And then we'll have a better idea of what we're able to do with those funds.
The meeting, yes, it's tomorrow at 1:30.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And from what I'm reading is we're going to get some of it this May and some of it next May.
I think the first rule was 60 days from passage of the American Recovery Act, and then no less than 12 months from that payment to receive the second one.
Good.
And then I believe we have till 2024 to spend it, but there's some deadline, I believe, and again, we're going to hear it all tomorrow, but I believe there's some deadline within that time period where we have to at least acknowledge how we're spending all of that money within those 4 years. So.
All right.
I think that, oh, I'm sorry.
Go right ahead.
President Rossman, I think that deadline is the end of this year to allocate how we're going to spend it through the 4 years.
Okay, good. Well, at least it seems
So we're
like
allocating money we haven't received and that we won't receive until a year later. Okay, cool. Fun.
And that's all I have.
Well, all right. Thank you. And then Ms. Sensky, do you have anything this evening?
I just have a couple of reminders and a couple updates for you guys.
Okay. And do we have correspondence for tonight?
No,
That deal with no correspondence for tonight that deal with any of our legislation?
nope.
Okay. I didn't know if we did enough. All right. Anything else? Does anybody else on council have anything that they'd like to bring up at this time?
So our next meeting will be in person, I assume?
I was thinking we would have that discussion maybe. I was thinking maybe July would be a good time. June is when they're going to start adjusting these regulations. So I thought maybe we give them June like an adjustment month and then aim for July.
But they all end on June 2nd, prior to our meeting.
Well, I think the Ohio, I have to read, I think the Ohio regulations, I think federal CDC guidelines and so forth some are still going to be in effect, but is maybe somebody else, but Jim, maybe, I don't know, the health department. I think June 2nd is the Governor DeWine's, he's making some changes then, but I think the CDC and such are making some different recommendations. Anybody?
Mr. President,
Yes, thank you.
the manager had me look into this a little bit today. House Bill 404, if I remember the number correctly, says that public bodies may meet electronically through July 1st
Okay.
in the state of Ohio. It doesn't say you must, it says you may. The last executive order from the governor's office before this one that dealt with public gatherings was on March 2nd. And that was that repeated the guidance of public gatherings of more than 10 people are not allowed. However, there were 5 or 6 specific exceptions, and one of those was for public bodies that are required to meet pursuant to the Sunshine Law. So essentially, since March 2nd at least, the executive orders have not prohibited council from meeting in person. And those executive orders in any event will lapse on June 2nd as the governor has announced. So now it is, at least through the month of June, it is a matter of council's discretion, because House Bill 404 says you may meet electronically until July 1. It doesn't command you to, however.
Mr. President,
Yes.
my only problem with starting in June would be, especially with our June 7th public hearing, I have sent out 200 letters to people and they're expecting it to be held via Zoom. I don't know if you'd want me to send out 200 letters again to say it's going to be in person and you're welcome to join. So I'm not sure that would be very practical.
Why don't why don't we think about this? Like I said, and we could communicate over the internet and we can come up with a plan. We do have an extra week
Yes.
before our June meeting. We have a 3-week time frame. So why don't we give us some thought, think about it. I like July myself, but certainly everybody will share their opinion and we'll go from there. Okay.
Mr. President,
Yes.
if I may, Mr. Franklin, I can't remember if it was the Attorney General or Secretary of State or somebody that put out the opinion about meeting electronically and everything. And I think wasn't that where the first date was established as far as the July time period to do this, or was that
the July 1st date is in the House bill. It's in the legislation that was passed last. I'm going to say last April.
Yeah. Okay. So I think okay. But I think originally it wasn't included in anything, and then the AG's office just opined that yes, you're able to do this via electronic means as long as you're providing access to the public and all that stuff. So
there was the initial the initial guidance or the initial instruction came via executive order, and the Attorney General's office did give an opinion that during the state of emergency announced by that executive order, electronic meetings would be all right. That was very shortly, within a couple of weeks thereafter, codified in the House bill.
Okay. And just a reminder to council too, we are still under an emergency declaration. So at some point we will have to consider that ending here for the city. I have not heard any other political subdivision in Ashtabula County moving towards that yet. So we do have a county call tomorrow. I will bring that up and see what everybody else is doing on that stance as well. So, and as Mr. Roskovich, as you said, the guidance is kind of changing. CDC is out there with a bunch of different things. I'm already seeing a lot of people posting, hey, mask, mandate has been lifted. And that's, if you actually read it, that's not true. What's been lifted is if you're vaccinated. The guidance, again, it's just guidance. The guidance is to you don't necessarily have to wear a mask if you've been vaccinated. I think this is going to create a world of confusion. It's already creating some confusion. Some people are posting that you don't have to wear it. Well, if you actually read the guidance, it's for those that are vaccinated. I'm going to meet with the staff, consult with Mr. Franklin too about what we anticipate doing for the building, or at least for our city hall building going forward. I have to keep in mind the tenants that we have here. We do have some people that are vaccinated, but not all. And my objective is to keep our employees safe and those entering the building safe. So we'll make some calls based on that and recommendations from our health department.
Right. Just to be clear, the May 13th executive order simply announces that the previous executive orders dealing with COVID, with some exceptions related to congregate living facilities and so on and so forth, are withdrawn effective June 2nd. That just applies to those executive orders. It does not apply to legislation that has been passed. It does not apply certainly to any guidance, any recommendations made by any health organizations. Those are still there. What the governor's office is indicating is that the governor's office is not going to mandate compliance. They're going to call upon people to be careful, to be wise, to be thoughtful of one another, and going forward, comply with those recommendations voluntarily.
All right.
Mr.
Yes.
I have a question. Come June 2nd, can our health department make orders that they want that are contrary to what the state is saying?
Uh, the short answer is yes, if there is local evidence that indicates that our health district is in some sort of specific or special danger. For example, if our 7-day average caseload rises dramatically, and there are other indicators indicating that we have an outbreak or a surge going on here, then yes, our health department could make some emergency orders. They have to be data driven, and they have to be supported by data that specifically affects our health district. They couldn't say, well, Utah is having a spike, so we're going to impose an emergency order. It would have to be something a little closer to home.
Kim, did you have?
Yeah, Mr. President, I have one question. I don't know if Mr. Timonier or Mr. Franklin can answer this, but if we do go back to in-person meetings, will the public be allowed to come to our meetings, or are we just going to City Hall and have no public there?
Public meeting means public meeting, and unless the legislature does something between now and July 1st, as of that date, we will be under the prior mandate that meetings be open and accessible to the public, meaning physical attendance.
Good. Like I said, why don't we take some time, think about it? What I had heard, only 41% of people in the 4404 zip code have a vaccine. So we're talking less than half. So why don't we give us some time? Let's think about it. Let's see. Like I said, we have 3 extra weeks. So let's see where we can go, and we could share our opinions on about this as we go forward. Okay. All right. Anybody have anything else before we go on? I think we have about a minute or two. Okay, we'll just wait. I'm sorry, what? We'll just wait a minute, 2 minutes, Mr. Timonier, and then we'll go to our regular meeting. Okay. We'll call the Monday, May 17th, 2021 regular city council meeting to order. Ms. Foglio, will you lead us in our prayer, please?
Yes. Heavenly Father, we ask you to let your inspiration precede this council's actions and all present here today, and your assistance further us so that every word and work of ours may take its beginning from you, and so begun, may through you reach its completion. Amen.
Amen. Ms. Sensky?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Ms. Sensky, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Crawford, Ms. Young,
Here.
Ms. Harris, Ms. Haynes,
Here.
Mrs. Foglio,
Here.
Mr. Spielman,
Here.
Mr. Ruskovics,
Here.
Mr. Timonier,
Here.
Mr. Franklin,
Here.
Ms. Welch.
Here.
May we have a motion to excuse Mr. Crawford and Ms. Harris from tonight's meeting?
So moved, Ward 1.
Motion by Ms. Foglio, second by Ms. Haynes. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Crawford, Ms. Young,
Yes.
Ms. Haynes.
Yes.
Ms. Harris, Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman,
Yes.
Mr. Roskovics.
Yes, so those members will be excused by a 5-0 vote. We do have a quorum established this evening. We have 5 members. Any legislation that we will vote on will, we have 5 members who could put that to institute it immediately. Otherwise, less than 5, we will have to wait our 30 days. We have met the requirements of the Sunshine Law. We have a request for an executive session for the purpose of sale and purchase of property. May I have a motion for that? This will be at the end of the meeting.
So moved, Ward 1.
Ward 3 seconds.
Motion by Ms. Foglio, second by Ms. Young. Please call the roll.
Mr. Crawford, Ms. Young,
Yes.
Ms. Harris, Ms. Haynes. Yes. Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman,
Yes.
Mr. Roskovics.
Yes. So at the conclusion of our business tonight, we will go into executive session by a 5-0 vote, and we will not come out to act on any legislation or any items. Okay. May we have a motion to suspend council rules of order?
So moved, Ward 1.
Ward
Motion
3
by-
seconds.
Thank you, Ms. Young. Motion by Ms. Foglio, second by Ms. Young. Any discussion? Please call the roll on suspending our rules.
Mr. Crawford, Ms. Young,
Yes.
Ms. Harris, Ms. Haynes. Yes. Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman,
No.
and Mr. Roskovics.
No. Okay. I'm sorry, what? Okay, we will suspend our rules by a 4-1 vote. Thank you. Are there minutes, Ms.?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't see
The May 3rd, 2021 regular meeting of the Ashtabula City Council was called to order at 7 p.m. by the council president. The Ward 1 councilor offered the opening prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance was recited. Members present were Mrs. Foglio, Mr. Crawford, Ms. Young, Ms. Harris, Ms. Haynes, Mr. Spielman, and Mr. Roskovics. Officers present were Mr. Timonier, Mr. Franklin, Ms. Welch, and Mrs. Sensky.
I will move on the minutes.
Second.
Ms. Haynes will second. Can you please call the roll on approving the minutes?
Mr. Crawford, Ms. Young,
Yes.
Ms. Harris, Ms. Haynes. Yes. Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman,
Yes.
Mr. Roskovics.
Yes, the minutes are approved by a 5-0 vote. Thank you. We will come now to the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just have one ordinance to request tonight. I would like an ordinance to enter into an agreement with Bricker and Eckler for legal services in connection with the formation of an energy special improvement district.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I move on the manager's recommendation.
I'll second. Ward
Motion
5.
by Ms. Foglio, second by Ms. Haynes. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Crawford, Ms. Young,
Yes.
Ms. Harris, Ms. Haynes,
Yes.
Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman,
Yes.
Mr. Roskovich.
Yes, we will add that item to our agenda by a 5-0 vote.
Thank you. Just a couple announcements real quick. In discussion with the health department today, we are planning the drive-through vaccination clinics have actually gone pretty well here at the city in the parking lot. So we are planning 2 more this week. We're planning one for Thursday between 2:30 and 5:30 p.m. Moderna and Johnson & Johnson will be available at that clinic. And on Saturday from 10 to 2 p.m., again, Johnson & Johnson and Moderna will be available at that clinic. At the Saturday clinic, we will also have all of the forms available in Spanish, and we will have a translator here to assist with anybody that needs help with that service. So we're putting together the flyers and things for that right now, and we'll get that out on social media. But again, that's Thursday, 2:30 to 5:30, and Saturday, 10 to 2, Moderna and Johnson & Johnson clinics here at City Hall in the parking lot. And it looks like we're finally getting some good weather, so it should go well. Speaking of the good weather, I know I've been continually harping on the Public Works property where leaf bags are dropped. Today we came into, and I'm going to share my screen here. Today we came into this. Again, we don't mind the bags being dropped there. We'll use a little bit of common sense and don't put them in front of our garage doors. There's a whole area marked over to the left of these doors that has the area to indicate. So please don't do that. Again, we found garbage and different things in these piles. But we really, now you guys can see what we deal with there, especially after a good weekend like we just had. We appreciate everybody cleaning up the yards. But again, we are still picking up leaf bags curbside. Thank you, Ms. Foglio, for bringing to my attention. I failed to put the new schedule up for recycling and garbage, so that's back up. But the leaf bag schedule is up online with the wards that we're in. Please utilize that. It's actually saves us a lot of time by picking them up curbside every other week than having these piles to deal with out front. So we ask you to do that. And Mr. President, that's all I have for my report right now. Thank you.
Very good. Questions or comments for the manager?
Mr. President,
Yes.
my email's been like a teletype this week. I have 4 things for the manager.
Okay.
The first one is, and I did email the manager on this, but I didn't get a reply. It's about the crosswalks. I've had a complaint, not really a complaint, but well, it's a complaint and a question about crosswalks, especially on West 9th Street. This person that emailed me said that the crosswalks haven't been painted in 25 years. I find that hard to believe, but I did go down West 9th Street today, and I did see the crosswalk. I could see it very clearly, so I can't believe that he couldn't see it. But what is? I think the crosswalk was put. There's not much foot traffic on West 9th Street. It's down by the gas station. I think it was put there for the school, when the school was there, for the kids to cross West 9th Street, get from one side to the other. But what is the city's responsibility as far as crosswalks like that? Where a school was, there's not much foot traffic there now. What is our responsibility as far as old crosswalks?
Yeah, so most of the crosswalks that are out there, we repaint. Right now, we are still waiting for paint to come in. We're using some paint from last year for the ones that we've been able to get to, but it's really a judgment call. It's for those high traffic foot areas. There is no way possible, we could do crosswalks at every intersection in the city, and no municipality does that. Yeah, I mean, the ones that are out there, we do repaint. Unfortunately, we're still waiting for paint to come in. Every year we submit our paint request to the county. The county does a state purchasing bid. So the more of us together, the better pricing we get. And we're waiting for the paint to come in is what we're doing right now. So what you did see started on some of the real high traffic areas like Lake Avenue. I don't even think we got to Bridge Street, but that was paint that we had left over from last year. So once we get the paint in, we'll start moving again.
Okay, so the call is.
Is the person asking for crosswalks the length of West 9th Street or just down at where Lake and West 9th are?
I think he's just basically complaining about the crosswalks on West 9th Street. Now, the only one I could find was the one crossing West 9th Street down by the gas station, and I could clearly see it. So I didn't really see any other crosswalks.
I guess that's my question. Is it at every intersection on West 9th Street that he's looking for a crosswalk, or?
No, because I didn't see any. He just meant that crosswalks in general haven't been painted in 25 years, but the only one that I could find going down West 9th Street was that particular one, and I could see it. Right. I guess I'm just going to take that with a grain of salt. But while I was going down that street looking for the crosswalks, out of the side of my eye, I saw Myrtle Avenue, West 9th Street, going, I guess it would be south. It's terrible. It's just it's potholes everywhere on West 9th or Myrtle Avenue, and there's a big one at the intersection of 10th. And so my weekly question, or my bi-weekly question is the asphalt plant open? Yeah.
Just opened up this month.
Oh, amen.
So,
because
actually last week I did that. So, yes.
Okay, because not only is the one on Walnut getting bad again, but the one on Union's really bad. So yeah, if we can get over there on Myrtle, it's really bad. Okay, my next email was about political signs. They're still up after the election. Do we have any kind of ordinance that discusses political signs being, Mr. Franklin, being up this long after the election, or can they stay up forever?
Our Court of Appeals and some other Court of Appeals in Ohio have said that, generally speaking, political speech gets the least restriction possible. So no, you can't tell people that they must take all political signs down within so many days of the election. The 11th district left open what kind of regulations we can pass concerning political signs. Without specific guidance at the, when that decision became generally known to us, as I recall, City Council at that time amended the sign ordinance just to say it can't create a view obstruction. It can't create a traffic hazard. I think we could, consistent with what little guidance the courts have given us, we could pass legislation to say when a sign becomes weather worn and unsightly and begins to negatively affect the neighborhood in that sense, that we can mandate that it either be taken down or refreshed. And I hesitate to say that, because then we might just see another cycle of political signs. But the short answer is we have to tread very softly here. The Court of Appeals decision said, and I'm paraphrasing because it's been a while since I read it, but it basically said the people who have strongly held political beliefs have to be allowed to express those beliefs independent of the election date. And you cannot tie your regulation tightly to an election date. I will look up the decision and I'll circulate it among council members so that you can read it for yourselves. It doesn't, as I say, provide much in the way of specific guidance.
Okay, I appreciate that. Okay, my next complaint was about signs on utility poles and right-of-ways. Business advertising signs, we're seeing a lot of advertising signs, Domino's looking for help, and I've lost my dog on utility signs. Is there anything that can be done about that type of thing?
Yeah, nothing is supposed
Those
to.
are already prohibited.
Yeah, those are prohibited.
Prohibited.
When we see them and we have time, we just rip them down.
Okay. Yep. And is that housing and community development, or is it just the city employees will just take them down?
Yeah, if we see them, we just try to take them down. I've jumped out of my car and done it myself a couple times. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
If you have certain areas, just let me know and we'll make sure we get them.
Okay. So people want to call, they should call you, call the manager's office, or call housing.
Either place is fine. Yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Foglio. Anybody else have anything for the manager?
I do.
Okay.
I think it has been a busy season for people. And I'd first like to thank Jim because most all of my complaints have been taken care of. And the residents have thanked me, and I thank you. But I do have a new complaint that I had not forwarded. This might go to Mike Spielman's committee, but on West 58th, they said there is not enough signage for the speed limit and there is a problem with speeding.
Ms. Haynes, I would only, when we put the four-way stop at Adams Avenue was to, help with the speed. And I believe at that time, we also put some more speed limit signs out there, but we'll take a look and see, maybe they could be missing now. So we'll go take a look there.
Thank you. And then the other concern was about the sidewalks on the overpass by Busy Beaver. Is that our responsibility? Is that Greenway Trail responsibility? The pictures that were sent me, and then I drove by it, that the sidewalks there are pretty bad.
There's an area there where are you talking about the area where there's a manhole on the northern side? It's on the northern end of the bridge. So closer to Busy Beaver.
Well, to me, the side closer to Busy Beaver. Yeah.
So there's a manhole over there that looks like it has some under earth issues going on from when they built that bridge and built that structure. I have asked GPD to take a look over there and see if this is simply removing sidewalk, fixing the underbase and repairing and replacing it, or if there's a much more serious issue going on at that end.
Okay. All right. That's what I have had.
Thank you, Ms. Haynes. Anyone else?
Mr. President?
Yes.
I just got an email from one of my legal colleagues who reminded me that in 2015, the United States Supreme Court came out with its own decision on political signs and said, again, municipalities have to tread very, very lightly. They cannot treat political speech differently from other speech, number one. And number two, tying signs by content to a certain election date is inherently suspect and will get the strictest scrutiny from the courts.
Thank you, Mr. Franklin. Okay, Mr. Franklin, do you have anything for us this evening?
No, thank you, Mr. President. I do not have a report.
Thank you. Ms. Welch?
Thank you, Mr. President. The first thing I have to remind everybody, I meant to say this earlier, but the last day to pay any delinquent accounts on sewer and trash bills will be May 24th, which is next Monday. So, and that's anything that's delinquent through December 31st of 2020. So that's our last day to pay any of those delinquent amounts before we start assessing the property taxes. The other thing I have, I am formally requesting an ordinance to create a new fund, 261, called the Local Fiscal Recovery Fund, in order to account for costs consistent with the requirements of Section 9901 of the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, as described in 42 USC 801 in the city of Ashtabula.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I move on the finance director's recommendation.
Ward 5 will second.
Motion by Ms. Foglio, a second by Ms. Haynes. Is there any discussion? Ms. Sensky, would you call the roll?
Mr. Crawford, Ms. Young,
Yes.
Ms. Harris, Ms. Haynes,
Yes.
Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman,
Yes.
Mr. Roskovics.
Yes. So we will add that to our agenda by a 5-0 vote.
That's all I have for this evening. Thank you.
Okay. And Ms. Welch, today
Yes.
is tax day, right?
Yes,
What would have been April 15th is today. So
correct,
people need to have that done. So,
correct.
okay. Thank you. Ms. Sensky?
Yeah, I just wanted to give you an update on my education points. So for the month of May, I've earned 4.4. And so I've got 21.6 to go. And I do have some things scheduled, and I'm trying to get as many free points as I can. And our Northeast Ohio Municipal Clerks Association does offer them monthly. So it'll be a slow go, but it'll get done. Also, through the International Institute of Municipal Clerks, I was chosen to be on the 2021 to 22 Records Management Committee roster. There's a few tasks and goals of that committee, but most importantly, I'm going to learn a lot about records management in all the states and internationally, and see how that can help us here if we need help. The reminders, I've got Mr. Coley from the Ashtabula County Metro Parks asked us if any of us could come out on June 5th at 9 o'clock for the North Shore Trail dedication at the Walnut Beach Pavilion. I know Mr. Spielman can't, he's got prior obligations, but if anybody else can, I wanna let Mr. Coley know as soon as possible so he can plan out his agenda. Okay,
What was that date again?
June 5th at 9 a.m. And I
Just
might have
bring your bike because I think we're planning a ride afterwards.
Horatia.
The last thing was the public hearing that's on June 7th prior to our next regular council meeting. And I just wanted to remind everybody who, the lakefront residential zone impacts, that they need to, get in touch with one of the counselors or the city manager or myself to get their voice heard during the public hearing, because unless you change your mind, everybody's been told it's going to be via Zoom, and I want to make sure that everybody has a chance to say what they want to say.
Thank you, Ms. Sensky. Anybody else? Okay,
Oh, I forgot the most important part.
what's that?
The Chromebooks are in and they're here in my office. I've got cases for them, and I've got tags coming to identify the ward numbers for you. Also, the new email addresses are set up, so we could potentially start using those email addresses as soon as I develop a form for each counselor to sign before receiving the Chromebook. That could be this week. I will let you know. The civic clerk implementation consultant is supposed to contact me this week and start the planning of that project and getting us up to speed and how we want everything to look, and then on our new meeting agenda service. And I'm pretty excited about it.
Okay. All right, anybody else for Ms. Sensky? I just want to add, Ms. Sensky, you mentioned the lakefront zoning. I was recently, I don't know, I was indisposed for 4 days where I wasn't available to be around. And so I think I have, and when I was back, I think I've missed some phone messages on the lakefront thing. I think there was a miscommunication. So if anybody has contacted me regarding that and I've ignored you, I apologize, but please contact me again and I'll try to get back with you. But I think my phone technology here is lacking. Plus I had been gone. So if anybody can, I apologize if I didn't miss out on talking with somebody. So, all right, thank you. Ms. Haynes, do we have a committee report?
I do. Okay. So the community development, and actually I'll have an ordinance request coming out of committee. Okay. We met on Tuesday, whatever that date was, and Steve Sargent and Patrick Hayward, they brought that they would like signage honoring Dr. Reginald Shelby on Lake Avenue from Carpenter Road to West 32nd Street. That was approved through the meeting. And so Mr. Franklin had said that we would need an ordinance for that. So I'm going to request an ordinance and that we can have that signage.
I will second your request. Is there any discussion? Ms. Haynes, the ordinance will read that this signage will go from Carpenter Road to Depot Street, and it will not replace the name of Lake Avenue, just what do we want to say? Sit above it or something?
Designate.
Yeah.
But it's an honorary sign.
Right, yeah. Lake Avenue will still be Lake Avenue.
I have a question. We've all seen signage along various state routes designating portions of the highways, often in memory of some member of the armed services who's died while on duty at war. Would something like that be appropriate? Some sort of signage on the side of the street that designates this as the Dr. Reginald Shelby Way in those terms?
Yeah. As opposed to what?
Well, there would have been some indication about possibly putting something above or below the street sign itself. Driving on that section of Lake Avenue, there aren't actually very many signs that designate Lake Avenue. And I thought something a little more visible, a little lower down, facing traffic in each direction might be more noticeable, more appropriate.
Mr. President?
Yes.
That's actually a pretty good idea. I could come up with something similar to what we did with the Urban Meyer Connie Schultz signs, putting those at either end of the area that we're talking about. But I think I kind of envisioned the new, the poles that are out across the Lake Avenue West 24th Street intersection. I thought that would be a good area to put that underneath the Lake Avenue signs. But yeah, the rest of all those other intersections, I don't see, adding that to the top of those. Those are very flimsy signs to begin with. I don't know if they would hold up, but that's actually a pretty good idea. I'll swing that by Mr. Haywood and Mr. Sargent and the family when I come up with something. Maybe we can work on those signs together. They're really not that expensive. And then making a street sign for those tops wouldn't be too bad. That's a good idea.
And the sign would say Dr. Shelby Way, the honorary sign.
Yeah. Okay. All right, we do have a motion and a second. Ms. Sensky, you want to call the roll so we can add this to our agenda?
Mr. Crawford, Ms. Young,
Yes.
Ms. Harris, Ms. Haynes,
Yes.
Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman,
Yes.
and Mr. Roskovics.
Yes, so we will add that to our agenda by a 5-0 vote. Okay.
Then I'll just finish up with the rest of what the meeting was. So we had a special discussion panel. The topic was homelessness. And we have a lot of wonderful agencies that were well represented at this meeting. It's not an easy to solve problem, but we've got a great coalition of people, and it's a discussion that we will continue to have. Also, I don't know if the manager, you had brought up about temporary stores. Is that something you wanted to bring out in this meeting or hold off on?
No, didn't we send this to all of council at one point? Or did I just communicate it with you? I can't remember.
Either.
Anyways, our current temporary stores legislation is pretty restrictive, and actually it was brought to council before my time and goes back quite a ways. It was actually asked for by some of the merchants on Bridge Street and Main Avenue when people were just coming into town, setting up shop, and then packing up their goods and leaving. You would see them around the holidays, Mother's Day, Father's Day, those kind of things. But in this temporary storage legislation does encompass things like food trucks or other things like that. It does give exemption to nonprofits. However, times have changed. The food truck thing, we've seen them pop up around town. They actually draw people to different businesses and areas. But right now, because ours is so restrictive, we usually see them coming on the weekends. We don't know about it. And of course, we don't get a chance to do anything with the permitting process for all that. So I had mentioned to Ms. Haynes and the committee about some less restrictive guidelines for that to allow some of these things to happen. I've also asked both the LBCA and the ADDA for some input on that as well. I think everybody realizes that legislation was put into effect, again, at a time that it was very different, these types of things weren't viewed as attracting business as they are today. So we're going to, as a staff, we've sampled some other legislation that's out there and try to come up with a recommendation for council to change that. Right now, the legislation says it's $250 a month. And it's just prohibitive for people to do anything with that. And we have some even our local businesses that have food trucks and different pop-up type things that they can do in other areas of the city that, of course, that prohibits them to do. So just looking to make that a little bit less restrictive, again, kind of keep up with the times that we have here.
Mr. Roskovics?
Yes.
Mr. Timonier had sent the email to Ms. Haynes, and then I think there was some research that we all did, and then I forwarded the initial email with our current codified information to the full council. So that would have been April 13th. So I think everybody should have had an opportunity to look at it.
Okay. I do remember seeing it. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Anything else, Ms. Haynes?
That's it.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so we have 3 pieces of legislation tonight. Ms. Sensky, correct me if I'm wrong, we have 2152 to prohibit parking on a portion of East 16th Street, 2153 legal services for the Energy Improvement District, and 2154 to create a new fund for our local fiscal recovery fund. Did I get them all, or is there another one?
Yes, but I didn't know if, did you want to let the other
Oh.
chairpersons tell when the meetings would be?
Oh, that would be a good thing too. Mhm. So let's go back and do that then.
Thank you.
Mhm. Ms. Foglio?
Yes, we're going to have a meeting this Friday, which would be May 21st at 8:30 a.m. and that will be via Zoom.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Foglio. Mr. Crawford is not here and Ms. Harris is not here, the vice chair. So I'm imagining the May 24th meeting will be canceled for the Public Works.
That's a possibility.
Yeah. So why don't we not mention that until we hear otherwise? Then we could add it. Okay. Mr. Spielman?
Yeah, we're going to meet Monday, May 24th at 8:30, and we're going to meet in person.
Okay.
I think you
All
said
right.
that.
Thank you. Okay. Sorry about that. Thank you, Ms. Sensky, for catching that. Now we have the three pieces of legislation. Were there any more? I will add, do I need to add Ms. Haynes's request?
No, Mr. Roskovich, she requested that, so we're
Yeah,
gonna send a request to Mr. Franklin.
And then that'll come back to us next month.
Right.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Will you read us our legislation, Ms. Sensky?
Well, we have our first reading of ordinance number 2021-52. And that's an ordinance amending the traffic control map and file to prohibit parking on the north side of East 16th Street between Harbor Avenue and Columbus Avenue.
Okay. You want us to handle that separately?
It's just a reading, so we can then handle the other two in consent agenda format if you'd like.
Okay.
Mr. President, you can also waive the reading,
On
the first reading, if you wish to do so.
All right. Can I have a motion to waive the reading?
So moved, Ward 1.
Second, Ward 5.
Second by Ms. Haynes. Please call the roll on waiving the reading of that.
Yes, Mr. Crawford, Ms. Young,
Yes.
Ms. Harris, Ms. Haynes,
Yes.
Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman,
Yes.
and Mr. Roskovich.
Yes, so we would waive that by a 5-0 vote. Then we have two items of legislation. And we can handle these in consent agenda format if council so desires. I will move for consent agenda format.
Second.
Ward 5.
Ms. Haynes will second that. Please call the roll.
Mr. Crawford, Ms. Young,
Yes.
Ms. Harris, Ms. Haynes,
Yes.
Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman,
So we're doing 53 and 54 in consent agenda?
Yes,
Okay, yes.
okay, and Mr. Roskovich.
yes, so we will handle those by a single vote, by a 5-0 vote. Ms. Sensky, will you read those items for us?
Yes, ordinance number 2021-53, an ordinance to enter into an agreement with the law firm of Bricker and Eckler for legal services in connection with the formation or expansion of an energy special improvement district, ESID. Ordinance number 2021-54, an ordinance to create a new fund number 261, local fiscal recovery fund, in order to account for costs consistent with the requirements of section 9901 of the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, as described in 42 USC 801 in the city of Ashtabula.
Can I have a motion to waive the reading of the legislation in its entirety?
So moved, Ward 1.
Ward 3 seconds.
Motion by Ms. Foglio, second by Ms. Young. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Crawford, Ms. Young,
Yes.
Ms. Harris, Ms. Haynes,
Ms. Haynes, you're muted.
Sorry, something just went wackadoo on my computer. Yes.
thank you. Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman,
Yes.
Mr. Roskovich.
Yes, we will waive the legislation by a 5-0 vote. Could I have a motion to waive the charter requirements of 2 readings?
So moved, Ward 1.
Motion by Ms. Foglio.
Or
Second
3
by-
seconds.
Ward 3, Ms. Young, seconds. Thank you. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Crawford, Ms. Young,
Yes.
Ms. Harris, Ms. Haynes,
Yes.
Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman,
Yes.
Mr. Roskovich.
Yes, by a 5-0 vote. And now on the adoption of the measure?
Mr. Crawford, Ms. Young,
Yes.
Ms. Harris, Ms. Haynes,
Yes.
Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Spielman,
Yes.
and Mr. Roskovich.
Yes, both items have passed by a 5-0 vote. Does that conclude our legislative part of the agenda?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. All right, is there any new business for council this evening? No? Okay, at this time, we have tell us something we don't know. Does anybody have anything?
I do.
Thank you.
So Sunday at 9 a.m., it's Walnut Beach. A local Girl Scout troop will be cleaning up Walnut Beach. And if anybody would like to join, please do so.
Sunday at 9 a.m.
Yes.
And are there cookies involved in that? All right. Okay, anything else? I just have a few things. You know, I just want to say to the city residents, I was happy. I felt bad the school levy didn't pass, but I was happy that it passed in the city. And I think that's a good reflection on our city residents that they saw the need for that and voted to pass that. So maybe next time we can get the whole area to pass that. And I do want to say that Miss Sensky and I have, you know, we had come up with that letter to bring the new businesses. And so Miss Sensky and I delivered that to 2 new businesses down on Bridge Street. So remember, if you know a business or somebody that's opening something, if you would like to bring them a letter or have Miss Sensky bring them one, or myself or anybody, it's a nice gesture. And the times we've done it, people have been very, I think, receptive and appreciative of that small gesture. Okay. And then,
Mr. Roskovich,
yes.
I appreciated the cookies from the Little Charlie's Bakery next door.
Yeah.
And
Somebody
I
brought
brought them to the city. And for some reason that day, finance department had a little breakfast spread already out. So the cookies went perfectly with the fruit
Oh, yeah,
salad.
that worked out well then. Yeah.
Yep.
Good deal. All right. And then the only last thing I was going to mention is a friend of ours who usually is with us, Miss Shelley Terry, once again won an award 2 years in a row for her writing. And so I know she's not with us, but I just wanted to congratulate her for 2 years in a row being an award winner. So that's pretty good. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to add tell us something we don't know? No? Okay. At this time, we will adjourn our meeting, just reminding everybody, stay safe.
Mr. President,
Yes.
we do have the executive session.
See, there you go. Thank you very much. And so we will convene into our executive session. As we say goodbye to everybody, please stay safe. I'm keeping wearing my mask. I hope you do. And we will see you in a couple of weeks. Enjoy the nice weather. Thank you. Council will go into executive session.
Just need 1 second, Mr. President.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're out now, right?
Yep, you're good.
Okay. So our executive session is over. There's no action to be taken at this time. So at this time, we will wish everybody a good evening and have a good week, everybody. Supposed to
Good
be.
night, everyone.
Bye. Have a good week.
Bye-bye.